Hi, everybody. How's everybody doing? Hi. I'm looking to what? I'm looking. I'm not. All right. So, does someone want to fill me in on what happened over there and what's going on? I'm good, thank you. How are you, hon? I'm a little confused. Hi, everybody coming in. Well, hit the like and subscribe if you're not already. Um, I don't even know where to start with this. Like, I wasn't planning on going live, but I don't like it when I hear I hear stuff going on. Okay. I will gladly fill you in if you drop the link. All right, there's the link. Maybe I want to smoke a bowl for this, my last bowl. I haven't gone there, Jen. I haven't been able to get to the weed store yet. Hi, Hillbilly. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. You and I have talked in chat, but we haven't been on panel at the same time together. Nice to meet you. And
Nice. Well,
sorry
I
that.
think we have, but not for very long.
Okay, that makes that's a possibility. I don't know what's going on, but I'm here to figure out what's going on because Carrie's clearly upset. I know Blind's gonna be
Well,
upset, and
yeah, and I understand that because Danny is still a trigger for her. Uh, but so earlier, Blind and I were going over the videos of Square and making fun of him, and one of them was of where this dude had gone to Square's house after Square invited him after making threats towards the dude's kids and everything. And I was just explaining the situation, right? And then
right?
when I heard and I was telling Blind when I heard what Square had said, yada yada, I told Square that he was in the wrong for it. And then Carrie started with, "Oh well, but you condone Danny threatening my kids and my dad and so and so." And I was like, I can't condone or damn it because I never saw him do that. Show me where he's done that, and I'll gladly damn him if that's what he and did do. But I'm not going to take just somebody's word for it without proof. I don't think anybody should, no matter what's being said. And I
Right.
told her that, and she was like, "Well, why were you saying over in Danny's that my true colors would show?" I said, "Well, if if what Danny says about you is true, then everybody will see it in time because your true colors would show." I was just trying to get Danny off of the topic of Carrie,
Okay.
and that's really all it is. And it's just her. And then she kept harping on the, "Well, he threatened my kids, da da da, you're so two-faced, you're such a hypocrite." No, I'm not. Show me proof where Danny threatened your kids and I'll gladly snap into Danny's ass about it. I don't care. What's right is right, what's wrong is wrong. But I'm not going to go cussing Danny out all because of what Carrie said without any proof of it.
Well, Danny has done really bad things to Carrie, like really bad
And I'm
things
not
to
saying
Carrie.
that he hasn't, but I wasn't around for that, so I can't speak on it. Now, if somebody wants to send me a video where it proves what he's done, I'll tell him he's a sorry piece of shit. And he needs to stop talking about Carrie because he's done X, Y, and Z, like she said. But until I do, he hasn't done anything to me for me to hate on him. He's always been cool with me. I mean, you see what I'm saying?
Well, I can tell you that he's threatened to send her nudes to her kids.
I mean, I heard that
I
too,
saw
but
it.
I haven't.
I saw it. I saw it live.
Okay, and again, I understand that, but unless somebody clipped it, I mean,
It is clipped. It's on Sammy Danger.
okay, good, and that's my point. Send me the clips where it proves the stuff, and I'll gladly say something about it. I don't condone shit like that, but don't come at me when I'm new to this community and everything, all because I'm not going to automatically pick a side based off of words. You see what I'm saying?
Well, I will give you. I think that you should take a look at Sammy Danger, and it's the clip channel that has clipped Danny for the last couple months, and there's a lot of things on that channel that are going to make you sick to your stomach. Danny
And if that's what happens, that's what happens. But that's my point. She can't be mad at me and start calling me names and this, that, and the other, all because I haven't seen the proof to damn somebody.
No, I agree. I agree with that statement. Working takes a lot of time. Working takes a lot of time, a lot of one's time. Yes, it does. No, I think that there's he's still messing. I've seen where Carrie's got messages from him. I've seen the emails. They're not pretty. They're pretty distasteful. And Danny lies. Danny lies a lot about things. And I am not a fan of Danny for a lot of different reasons. Do I hate Danny? No. No, I don't hate anybody. I there's no reason to hate anybody. But Danny and I'll say this to both of them if they were here. I don't know where Danny is, but and frankly I don't know if Carrie's here, but they're very toxic to each other. Um, they're both fire. They run right into each other and it doesn't work out well. Carrie's not innocent in it either, and she knows that. But what Danny has done for the last year has really, really affected Carrie in a lot of ways. Like, I mean, Danny has, and some of the things that he has said to some of his friends are downright despicable, and I've seen them all. I've seen them personally.
And
Most of
I don't disagree. And that's why I said when I first came up that I understand that Danny is still very much a trigger for Carrie. That's why I'm not mad at her, because I understand where her pain and anger comes from, but I feel like she's directing it at the wrong person because she sees me in both places and everything. And like I was telling her, I can be cool with two people who don't like each other at the same fucking time. I mean, it's not that hard. Like the other night when Danny was going on about Carrie after he had been over here in your chat and everything like that, he wanted to keep on. And I was like, dude, if what you say is true, her true colors will show. Just let it fucking show. Let's move on from this. Trying to keep it from being all about Carrie. And that's all. I never said, oh, well, she's a bitch and she's that and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. That's not being two-faced. That's trying to direct the conversation elsewhere.
I see your direction. I see where you're trying to go with it. Unfortunately, Danny has said some horrible things to a lot of people. Like lots of people.
I'm not saying he didn't. I'm sure he has. I've said a lot of horrible shit to other people. But again, y'all are all a group that have been tight knit for a long time now. So, I mean, I'm just the type of person, I need the proof. And once I have the proof, then I'll start opening my mouth. But I'm not going to
Well,
damn somebody. Just like if he was saying something about Carrie, show me where Carrie did that. Show me where Carrie did something so diabolical to you. You see what I'm saying?
right.
I'm just
No,
not going to hate on Carrie because Danny says to. And I'm not going to hate on Danny because Carrie says to. Give me the proof, and then we'll go from there.
let me see if I can get. I'm so tired. I was not ready for this. I don't like. I know that there's a point of contention. And it doesn't, and this is not going to end well for anybody. I know that Carrie, you know, wants, it's. I wish I knew. I haven't been paying attention because I kind of have taken a step back from this because I know that Blind and Carrie are happy and everything's good, and I don't want them to. I want Carrie to move in that direction, not necessarily with Blind. If they work out, that's great, but if it's not with Blind, just be happy in her life. I keep telling her to go find a fucking doctor because she works as a nurse. I'm like, there's got to be a fucking hot doctor around there. Go find one. Danny has done more than his shit has done, and Dee Dee right there, that's in the chat right there, is Danny's sister.
Yeah, I knew who Dee Dee was. That's why I didn't really acknowledge her. Just because until I can, because you also got to understand, I'm still trying to figure out Danny and Blind as individual people in their own communities. So until I do, I'm not really trying to step my foot in something that has been going on long before I came along.
Right, but you're stepping in a situation where defending Danny, you're gonna get a lot of haters. I'm just telling you right now. Like, there's gonna be a lot of people that don't like Danny. Now, I have one of my great friends named Aqua that likes Danny, and we've had to agree to disagree, and we don't talk about the situation because I'm team, in her eyes she's team Danny and I'm team Carrie. Now let me just say this out loud right now because I don't want it to take I don't want that to go, get
Left
wings
field.
get wings and fly. There's no team here. That's my interpretation of it. There's no actual teams. There, don't use my words against me on that. That's my terminology. That's no one else's, because that's my way of, that's my way of looking at it in my own head. Don't quote me on that. That is not a truthful thing. It's just me saying it.
But I get what you're saying. But that's what I was trying to tell Carrie in the chat too.
Team Didi. Team Didi, yeah. And there's Team Megs.
I was just trying to tell her, look, I can be friends with two people at once that don't like each other. Whatever goes on between y'all is between y'all. I mean, I understand people don't like Danny, but I also understand people don't like Carrie.
Danny, let me just give you a breakdown of what some of the things that Danny has said that I've heard him personally say, and that he said outright. He said that he was going to send his nudes to her whole family, send her nudes to her whole family. That Peeps and Augie should die in a house fire, and they also should get hit by a Mack truck because he drives a semi. And then he said that Dee Dee that's a whole that's rather, there's a whole bunch of stuff there.
That's a lifetime of stuff there.
Yeah, like, where do you want me to start? But Danny has gone off on the rails on Carrie and called her a cunt, called her a whore, called her, every fucking name in the book. And she went back to him several times because he blackmailed her. He was blackmailing her. He was messaging her up to 100 times a day. Not here to start shit, but look up Sammy Danger. Yes, that's what I was telling her. there's a lot, like he lies a lot. He lies about everything. He said he's been in boxing. That Dee Dee's cleared that up. He also tried to tell me personally, this is me, he told me that Dank was the same person that broke up him and his first wife's marriage when they weren't even when that's not even possible. And then he told me that later on when I said, and he goes, I misspoke, which is his way of saying he lied. And then he tried to say that he claims he didn't say this, but I was on the phone, and why would I say this? That it was a misunderstanding, and that it was not Dank, but it was his best friend that's already dead now, so it doesn't matter. And then he came on here and said he's never had a best friend, so why would he say that? And I went, why would I say that? Like, why would I bring that up? And why would I just pull that out of left field? Like again.
Yeah, and I remember seeing that part. But see, this, yes, I'm gonna go check out the Sammy Danger stuff, but at the same time, all the stuff that, especially somebody like Carrie,
and then this is the other thing. That woman right there took in his daughter. He can't take in his daughter. His daughter is 18 years old and has autism, and his mom, I don't know the whole backstory. I don't know. I don't know the whole backstory. I do, but I don't. It's not my story
it's
to
too
tell.
much. I get it.
Yeah. That somehow she said, I can't do this anymore, and went to the hospital or somewhere to drop off his daughter, and Dee Dee got a call from so and so and said, or from Danny, and said, Danny said, I can't take in my daughter. I live in a trailer. I can't support her. I don't have anything. Will you take in my daughter? So Dee Dee stepped up to take care of this daughter that has no life skills whatsoever. None. So Dee Dee has taught her how to cook, how to clean, how to take care of herself physically and mentally. Has gotten her into cheer. Is basically making her life what every child's life should be. Okay. Danny doesn't have he's seen it. He gave up his rights to his daughter, and he saw her get at 13. She just won 2 cheer comps. Nice. I heard that. Congratulations. I heard she was in a cheer comp competition in Seattle. Congratulations. Like Danny's a scumbag. Now, like I said, do I hate Danny? No, I don't hate Danny. Hold on. And I really want. I don't hate Danny. Danny is on the spectrum. He says things, he acts out, and I'm not, and I, for one, am not giving him a pass in any way, shape, or form. Let me just say that right now. I'm ADD and ADHD and have 19 other learning disabilities and was the special ed my whole life. And I graduated from high school and did some college, and then I had too much fun in college, so I didn't make it in college. When you're blonde and you're a zero, and a size 0, you have a little too much fun, and I partied a little too hard, and that's what I did. I went and I didn't go to class. I went to the bar instead. That's kind of what happened. But I did do some in college. I've also raised my 2 children, and I have 2 children that are 23 and 20. I have one child that's 23 and one child that's 21. My daughter's going to be turning 23 on March 26th, so she's just turning 23. And my son just turned 21. He has no desire to help. You've seen him in how he says his kids, he doesn't want to work because he doesn't want his kid, he doesn't have a relationship with his kids because he doesn't want his kids to have the money, and his kids don't want to spend time with him. His kids don't associate with him and everything else. I don't like to bash Danny. So putting someone's life out there and putting all of that I just said is not nice. It's not a nice feeling. It's not nice for anybody to hear their downfalls. But I think that, like, when Carrie's had Carrie and I weren't talking for a few months, and when it got to a point of where she was not in a good place, I contacted Carrie, and I stood up for Carrie, and I told Carrie that she needs to block Danny and walk away from Danny, for good, or she's a wet blanket. Is basically what I said. I was not
Right.
nice. I'm not when I have something to say, I'm not nice about it. Like, as I came in hot and clueless on this one, I was hot and clueless on a lot of things, but she, we just got back from
But I
Seattle, and
understand that because she's your friend and you care about her.
I do. So I will say this though, that Danny has destroyed Carrie, and Aqua, and she's done the same. He said he traded Aqua for Carrie to me. Like he said, Megs can have. I'll take Carrie, and Aqua, and Aqua can have Megs. And Aqua and I are very, very, very close, and I adore that girl. Now and so like I said, she's known Danny for 4 years. She also knows the side of Danny, which is a good guy. He does struggle, he does go off, but I've heard that this is not how he always used to be. Now, I've also heard that from Carrie, or from Dee Dee, that that's how he always is. Um, I, he uses people for money. Um, he he doesn't care. He cares about only the views. As he said on his channel, he only cares about views. He doesn't care about you as an individual. He doesn't care who he hurts on the way there. And everybody's walked away from him, and he's upset about that, and he blames me. So yes, I get the brunt of Danny a lot of the times. He said some horrible things to me, and I could read you some text messages that he sent me, that are not nice. Now, with that all being said, have I said some horrible things? Yep, I have. Does everybody have a bad day? Yes, we all have bad days. Are we all adults? Yes, we're all adults. Do we all act like it at times? No. YouTube is a kindergarten playground. I swear to fucking God. It's,
Yeah,
this
that's what
person
it's
likes
meant to
this
be,
person, this person
essentially.
likes this person, the cheerleading squad over here doesn't like this cheerleading squad over here. This group doesn't like this group. It never fucking ends. And everybody needs to, with the Danny and Carrie situation, it really does need to be stopped. It needs to.
It does,
Everybody
yeah.
needs to move on. Danny's moved on to Alien, so I've heard. I think that's a wonderful thing where he's going, and he needs to continue to go that direction. And Carrie and Blind have moved on. That's a wonderful direction for them to go in. They need to go separate ways. Carrie doesn't need to be over there. He should not be bringing up Carrie at all, personally. And everything that has happened on the Sammy Danger channel and other channels that he has got himself, people are now doing clip channels with Danny, which, let me just tell you, I've had 10,000 videos made about me. 10,000. 10,000. And I honestly wish that I was lying about that number, because it's a horrible number and it's not fun. I've been degraded. I've had every bad picture that you could have of me. I've had my children gone over. I've had my children be accused of being mass murderers. I've had my children be accused of hurting people. I've had my children be accused of being a whore, being a slut, being every fucking name in the motherfucking book. It's not fucking K to bring up any fucking child. If you bring up my fucking child, I'm going to rip your arms from your body and shove them down your throat and watch them come out your ass. Okay? That's what's going to
And I'm
happen.
the same exact way.
And
And
so
see,
and so
that's what
Carrie,
started everything tonight, was because of me talking about what Square did to somebody else and everything, and telling Square, look, what you said was fucked up, blah, blah, blah. She's like, well, how can you condone Danny doing it to my kids? I didn't know he said anything about your kids. I mean, if you want to send it to me where he, said something against your kids, I will gladly go tell Danny he's a fucking asshole and a piece of shit for that. I mean,
well, I could bring
but I
someone in
think
here right
she
now,
was,
I could bring Aqua in here right now, which Aqua is in the chat right now, that can tell you that that's what he said. And that he didn't agree with it, and Aqua had to say to him, yes, you did. And he said that's when he realized that he was out of control. He did go after Carrie's kids. He
and
did
I'm
go
not saying
after
he
them.
didn't, but that's my point. I didn't know about that. I didn't see that. So, and that's what I'm saying. Until I do, you know, she can't be, but I understand Danny is still a very tender spot for her. But just because I'm friends with Danny and I chill at his place to have a good time and laughs and not worry about the stupid real bullshit in life doesn't mean I condone bad things that he did. But I'm not gonna sit there and say, "Oh, Danny, you're a piece of shit because I heard X, Y, and Z from so and so." It's, "Oh, I saw X, Y, and Z. You're a piece of shit for that."
Well, I'm telling you, when you see Sammy Danger's channel, you're gonna have a different opinion.
I mean, I very well may. But I mean, in the meantime, don't sit there and say that I'm talking like how she made it seem like I was talking about her kids and shit like that to you, to where you came over thinking people were talking about her kids and shit. It was
Well, I'm
that's kind to
definitely.
me, honestly, to me, that's kind of manipulating the situation.
Well, I agree. No, I big well, and I'm the voice, and I'm the loud voice, and I don't like, and then that's where I get myself in trouble all the time, because I do come out hot, and I do come out very angry. Like I can't see Aqua, but I do apologize for coming at her. If someone could relay that to her, okay, I will. I'll screenshot that right there for you, Penelope. Aqua, Aqua's been Danny's friend for 4 years. Okay, Aqua's seen Danny in a great spot, and Aqua's seen Danny in this horrible situation. And I'll tell you this: if you ask Aqua, she hates Carrie. Aqua hates Aqua despises Carrie with like most everything, because she sees in her opinion, and I'm speaking for her because she said this, is that Carrie has brought Danny to where he is at, and she's trying desperately to get Danny out of the situation that he's got himself into. And Aqua's my Danny is blind. If someone's coming to blind or something's going on with blind, I automatically will come to blind and say, "What the fuck are you doing? You need to handle your shit." um blind and I have had the same relationship that they have in some sort of way. I have lots of people that don't like me because I'm friends with blind, which is, like you just said, if I don't know what's being said behind closed doors, I can't always be um if I haven't seen it, I can't take it. I can only hear it. I can only take that with a grain of salt, like you said. So
Exactly,
I
exactly.
understand.
And that's
I
all I was
understand.
telling her tonight is until I see the proof, you can't be mad at me because I'm not sitting here saying fuck Danny this, fuck Danny that. To me, he is still my friend. He is still somebody I associate with. I don't have a problem with him. Now, after checking out Sammy Danger, if I see shit that makes me think, "Oh, Danny's such a piece of shit, I'm done with you," block, 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 then so be it. But until then, you can't sit there and accuse me of being this, that, and the third when I'm new to this and I'm still learning everything. I try to
Right, but
keep Danny on the light topics with the laughs and everything like that, instead of brooding over what's going on with the kids or his sister or Carrie or anything else. I kind of make a little empathetic comment to where he knows, hey, I am listening, but this is not the place for it. Let's move on. And then if he wants to talk about it behind the scenes, then we'll talk about
I have everything on mute. I don't want to know what's going on, but I just want to say Meg's hi,
it.
and that's it. Hi, Sifa. How are you? Yeah, no, e- I have a lot of respect for that, what you're saying, because I agree. Like I said, I've had 10,000 videos made about me, and if everybody believed every single thing that was said in those videos,
You'd be the biggest
without,
piece of shit ever and everyone should
yes,
hate you.
yes. And most of what has been said in those videos have been clipped and and um and manipulated in some way, shape, or form. They've been clipped and made me say things that I didn't say. People heard me
Yeah,
say
and
them.
see,
And
and
Dan,
that's what I
let me just
I
say this
say
right
at
now.
blinds.
Let me just say this. Um, that what Danny has said on what Danny is saying on his channels and what he says, they're not being clipped. they are verbatim what he has said to everybody. And it's not, and Danny, because he deletes his lives afterwards, he thinks that it doesn't hurt people. He thinks that he can say what he wants to say and it's going to be gone. Now on YouTube, if anybody knows YouTube, and I think all of us pretty much do on here, that what happens on Monday, by Friday, it's been 10, it could be 10 years on YouTube, like that. You say something on Monday and on Friday the world is flipped on its side 3 times over, and now people are friends with the people that hated on Monday. And you go, what the fuck happened? Like, where did this come from? I have never, and so I've taken the side of that I hate Danny's side. I don't hate him though. I don't hate anybody. I dislike him.
You're more along the lines of fuck Danny instead of hate Danny.
Yeah. Yes. And let me clarify this too, because I say hate when I say mad. Like my hate word is my mad word. Like when I say everybody hates me, I mean everybody's mad at me. Like I don't mean the word hate, and a lot that's gotten me in a lot of trouble actually.
No, I get what you mean.
Because people go, well, they don't hate you. And I go, well, no, they don't hate me. I mean, but I hate that. Like, and if I go, I hate them, I don't hate them. I'm mad at you, but I don't hate you. But Danny has said a lot of things to a lot of people that have hurt a lot of people. And for standing up for someone that is okay with that, it looks bad on you. And I know that's not fair to you. I know that that's not fair. I know it isn't. And so you're going to get some hate. You're going to get some hate back for that.
I mean, that's fine. I've dealt with that before. That was like the whole thing between Square and I. When everybody was shitting on Square, I was trying to help that little bastard every which way that I could. And it got to a point where he finally just shat on me for the last time, to where I say, you know what? No more. I'm done. I can't keep letting you do this to me. And that's when I walked away. But mind you, it was 2 years of me backing the little fucker. And that's how I operate. I try to, if I consider you a friend, I will help you in every which way I can, even if that involves tough love sometimes. But especially being new, I can't. It's not in me just to take somebody's word who's upset, like Carrie, for example, and go, oh, well, I can't be friends with you because Carrie's upset. No, I need to see that what Carrie said is true. And if it's true, it's why the fuck would you say that? That's fucked up. And if this is how you're going to fucking operate and continue to operate, I'm not fucking with you. You see what I'm saying?
Well, see what Penelope said.
Everybody the benefit of the doubt.
What I highlighted there is the issue with Danny is that he repeats the same awful things millions of times. He does. He's a broken fucking record. We could all, if you ask anybody,
then so be it. Because Square did the same thing, and I'll see it pretty fucking quickly because of dealing with Square. It's the same thing with Square. If he does something fucked up, apologizes for it, but doesn't grow and move on from it and continues to make the same fucking mistake, I'm not going to be there for it. I'm not going to waste more time on somebody else who does the same thing as Square.
And Chi said, Jennifer, Danny is 1,000 times worse than Square.
And I'll come to, and again, if that's true, I will come to learn that, and I will come to make that decision. But like when I came into Blind and I was explaining Square to Blind's like, well, I can't just take your word for it. And I respect that. I was like, look, this is how he operates. You will see it for yourself. His true colors will come through. And it did. He saw it for himself. I had to let Blind figure that shit out for himself. And that's kind of the same thing for me. I'm going to have to figure that out for myself, because the more people try to tell me, the more it makes me want to give him the benefit of the doubt that maybe it was just someone off, or maybe, it's just emotions being too high octane to bring it to actual reality, if that makes sense.
No, what you're saying, what you're saying absolutely does make sense. And no one, and I'm not here to tell you that you shouldn't be friends with, you shouldn't be friends with Danny. That's not what I'm here to tell you. You're going to make your own judgment. You're 100%. and like I said, some people take Danny's side, some people take Carrie's side on this. It's definitely a split down the middle because I've known Carrie for 2 years. We didn't talk for about. I've known her for 2.5. I've known her for 2 years, and I didn't talk to her for probably 3 months because of the situation. Because Carrie thought that I was interested in. Oh, well, that's another thing Danny lied about. He tried to tell people that I was interested in him, and that I said this in a text message, and I've proved to everybody, and I have the text message to prove it that I didn't say it.
Yeah, I saw that too.
And so he says things that are not true, flat out not true, and doesn't apologize to anybody. He can do no wrong. And that may be true. I recognize the pattern very quickly. Yes. Jennifer, you will find out about Danny on your own time. Come on, Ginger, come in. Now she's outside barking like at the dark, like there's no one there. She just wants to be known. Come on.
The wind blew the wrong way. It
Yeah,
pissed her off.
it didn't. She didn't like it, so she had to let it know. Are you gonna? What's out there that you're talking to? Huh? Come on in. It's cold out there. Oh, you stupid. I love her to pieces, but when she's blind and deaf, she just doesn't understand. Come on. Or she acts blind and deaf. I don't know which one is always true. I know the deaf one is. The blind one is not so much. But yeah, I can clap above her and she doesn't make a noise. But if the wind blows, she hears it. Go figure. But it's a very contentious topic for everybody. And like I said, Aqua, if she's here, she's listening. She does not. She's probably saying Megs is not giving the full story about Danny. Danny is a piece of work, and we all have a past, and Danny likes to live in the past and likes to say that he has triggers, and because of his ex-wife. Because what I think is that he's manifested this, and this is my opinion only, no one else's opinion, that he's actually manifested Carrie in some way to be his ex-wife. Like he tells you can't talk to people. He tells you can't message each other. He tells you can't have friends if you're a female. He'll tell you that he can't, that you're not allowed to, that if you walk away with a guy, like if you go off his stream at the same time and come back and there's a guy and it's a guy and a girl, he'll say that you two are messaging each other and it triggers him. Everything triggers Danny, and I'm sure Danny's now knows that I'm here. And like I said, I take some of this as Danny is Danny, and he's never going to change. Danny doesn't want to change himself. He has children that are unfortunately hurting from that, and his daughter has told him to stop talking about shit on people. His daughter has come on my stream to say, "Dad, stop. Dad, stop. Dad, stop." That's not true. That's not true. I don't want to be like my dad. So this is stuff that has happened. So it's not just hearsay. And I'm telling you that this has happened in my presence, or I've seen it. And there's one thing I'm not good at is lying, because I can't do it. I'm not one of those people that can lie and get away with it like some people in my life can. And I'm not saying anybody in particular. It could be my kids. It could be my kids they lie to me all the time. And I go, I don't think you're telling me the truth. And then I find out the truth, and then they get in trouble for lying to me because they're not good at it either. But I'm just saying, I'm just using as general statements here. I feel sorry for Danny because I don't think that he's had the best role models in his life or any. And I'm not talking bad about you, DD, in your life. This is just my perspective. And Danny has no desire to better himself for his children. DD has taken in his child that had no physical skills at all. None. Like, she didn't know how to bathe. She didn't know how to eat. She didn't know how to dress. She didn't know how to, she didn't know how to do anything. She's on the autistic spectrum and has been sheltered her whole life, which is good and bad. And so when Dee Dee has never met this child, but maybe 3 or 4 times, and Danny said, "I can't take in my daughter. I can't handle this. I don't know my daughter. Will you take in my daughter?" Dee Dee, without a question, took in the daughter at 18 years old. This is an 18-year-old we're talking about. When I first heard about this, I thought it was like a 5-year-old. Okay. It is a 18-year-old child that we're talking about. This is the oldest one. And it's a horrible story. It's a horrible story to hear. It's one of those that you wish you didn't hear. Like and unfortunately, Danny has put his child and his life on the internet and his life story since the divorce and everything else. And this has gone downhill. So Carrie, when you say when you say that it's a trigger for Carrie, it's not even a trigger. This is something that is like, he used her for money. He blackmailed her to talk to him, or else he will send nudes to her father. He said that on a live. I don't care who you are. I don't care if I sent nudes. I don't care if I sent nudes to someone. If you're gonna send nudes to someone, you don't expect for it to be at your father. Like, I'm sorry,
No.
that there's a line. There's a line you don't cross. That's a woman, and that's her. That's a daughter. You know what we all need to realize here is that a woman or a son or a daughter or a son, someone else has the same thing. In other words, that's someone's daughter, like the song. That's someone's son. When they're, when someone's hurting, that's someone's kid out there. No one wants you. I don't want to see pictures of my mom. I don't want to see pictures of my dad. Danny lives his life on YouTube, and that has been a huge thing for their family. And Danny has brought this onto their family. And unfortunately, I didn't even know Danny existed until about a year ago. And I've now have had Danny in my life for the last year. And if you hear him talk, and I could read some of the text messages that I received from him, and they are horrible messages. They are, you're going to die alone. You're ugly. Take care of yourself. You're a piece of shit. You have nobody in your life. You're a god-awful person. You're a horrible mom. You don't do anything right. You're alone. You're not going to have it. You deserve nothing. You're a horrible person. You're ugly. You're fat. Every single thing underneath the book. Is that okay? Oh, did I lose her? Okay. Am I he's lazy and says if he works, his family wants the money. Right. I'll drop the link again if anybody wants to come up. I wasn't intending for this again. And I don't intend for anybody to be on my side or on anybody else's side. I'm just spitting facts here. I'm just telling you what I know. I'm just saying what I've heard. I just got a message from someone on TikTok saying that he was threatening her friends and she was scared. Yeah. I don't know. So I want everybody to know that yes, I stand up for Carrie because I've seen what Danny has done to Carrie. Now, is there two sides to every story? Absolutely, 100%. Not saying there's not. Hi, Dee Dee. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. It's never ending with your brother, isn't it?
Yeah, I've been away from it, so I've been busy.
I've taken a week off because of I've been working, and work comes before all the bullshit. And that's one thing that I feel sorry for Dee Dee is that this is and I'll say this in front of Dee Dee. This is Dee Dee's fucking life, guys. This is what Dee Dee lives with every fucking day. Thank God, we should thank our lucky stars that we're not in that situation because it's horrible. And I am so sorry.
I couldn't sleep, so I got on a notification from Blind, so I went over there. And I started reading the comments, and then you came on and started hearing Danny. So I was like, I'm going to stay for the tea.
Yeah.
What have I missed the last week?
Well, I actually, it's been kind of a slow week, I think, which is good. Like, I think that things are getting, people are starting to move forward, but there's always that trigger for anybody on both sides. And,
it seemed pretty slow since I posted that video on my channel.
Yeah, and everybody subscribed to Dee Dee, and you can see the video of what she had to say. It's and Dee Dee was on my panel. There's one a couple weeks back where Dee Dee was on my panel for 8 or 7 hours or something.
Sorry about that. I was drunk as fuck.
All right. Well, and it's all right. Like I on my channel, I like to see if we can move past things. We can move forward and move on in a better direction. And I know that you struggle with your brother keep bringing your life up, which, like we've all said, we know more about you and your husband's marriage than we all want to know. And it may or may not be true. It's not for us to decide that at all. So it just sucks for you, and I'm sorry. So how did her cheer competition go?
Amazing. So she had one February 1st, and they took first place in their division. They got Superior, which is the highest. And then we went to Seattle. So I went, my mom, my daughter, and my grandbaby, and then Kylie. And I invited her mom, but she said that she was sick with the flu, but now she's chilling over at Danny's house, so that's kind of weird. But anyways, so we all went up there, and we went Friday. Saturday was her cheer comp, and it was like an all-day event. I had her there at 7:30 in the morning. Excuse me, and then we got to leave at, I think, 3 in the afternoon. So we got home about 7. And then the next day I worked 11 hours.
Wow.
I'm working a full time and a part time. So, but yeah.
Well, I just this kind of got blown up because of, I think, jealousy. And I think that there's a little bit of new people coming in and trying to figure out where all of it starts and stops, like, and unfortunately that's what some people are, dealing with now, is that Danny is always going to have a new, like you said in the past, he always is going to have a new wave of people that he can take advantage of. And some people are trying to get in front of that so that they don't get taken advantage of, but they're still getting taken advantage of. And I feel bad for that. I don't want to bash your brother. Like, that's not what I'm trying to say, but if it walks like a duck and talks like a duck, it's a duck. And unfortunately, it's a duck.
Well, and that's why I was so upset. And I was like, I just got to go and just like get my side out. And I was so determined on, because I'm like, he gets these new people, and I'm in his chats and I see all these random people, and I'm like, they don't know. Like, he's sitting there saying that I molested his daughter. He's saying that I take her money. He's saying that I beat her. Like, he's saying that I'm an animal abuser. Like, all these he's saying that I stole money from my uncle, my dying uncle, like all this stuff, but he doesn't have proof of anything. And that's what pisses me off. And then somebody went and fucking doxed my address, and he just let it happen. And I'm like, I have your fucking child. I have an infant in my home, and you're gonna sit there and let somebody do that to me?
Yeah, it's not cool.
Like, that's not okay, And then when I privately text message him to try to keep it off of, YouTube because it's nobody's business. Like, hey, why are you not blocking this person? Why are you allowing this? Then he wants to just keep going off. And then that's when I got pissed and I made that video. And I
Yeah.
showed receipts for everything. I showed receipts.
You did, and
I
you're
have.
at. I watched it. I watched the entirety of it. Tell Eric I said hi, by the way.
I will.
And someone else yesterday said get Eric on Meg's panel because they love Eric. They think that him with his muscles, showing his muscles, that he's just too funny. Your husband, like, he has a good sense of humor about all
He
this.
does.
I give him credit where credit's due because I know that Danny is his friend, that's your brother, and it's a hard, it's got to be you're between a rock and a hard spot every single day, and I can't, like, you never know what's coming towards you or your family, and that sucks.
Yeah, well, my husband's like done with them. He's like, I don't want to talk to him. I don't want him around. Like at first, uh, we were allowing him to come over, but like I would go to my room or I'd stay away from him because I didn't want to be around him. And my husband was just trying to be supportive, like whatever, to Danny. But after he just kept going and going and going and going, my husband just finally told him, don't. And we've had zero contact with him.
Well, unfortunately, I think that's best for his daughter. I mean, for her where mentally, um,
He's messaged her on Valentine's Day because
how'd that go?
when I got home from work, because she has her own cell phone, it's in her possession. Like I don't read her messages. I don't need to read them because she reads them to me. So I came home, and it was like 5:36 at night, and she's like, "Guess what? Guess what?" And I was like, "What?" And she's like, "My dad messaged me," and I'm like, "Oh." I'm like, "Did you message him back?" And she's like, "Well, no." And I was like, "Well, why not?" And she's like, "Well, I don't know what to say. Here, this is what he said." And then she read the text message to me, which basically he wanted to send her some money um, for Valentine's Day so she could, do something. And her reply was, "I don't want your money. I have a bowling gift card that I got for my birthday. Can you take me bowling?" And he said, "Yes, anytime you want to go, blah, 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 blah." And then that was that. And then on our cheer comp, he messaged her and told her good job. So
Oh, good.
he's randomly like messaging her, but most of the time she doesn't know what to say, or she's afraid that she's going to say the wrong thing. So she has to like read the message 20,000 times and then say her reply 50 before she sends it.
Yeah.
Because she's afraid
Well,
she's going to say something to upset him. And she just didn't want to talk to him there for a minute because she was angry with the things that he was saying. Because, I mean, right before I made that video, it was like, no matter what, no matter where we went, what we did, like everybody, "Oh, did you see Danny's video? Did you see Danny live streaming?" We're like, "No, we try not to watch it," Or like Eric will be watching it in the bedroom, and Kylie is really nosy. And so she would walk by my bedroom door, and I know she does that because I have a camera right there. And it gives us alerts every time. And so she'll be listening to what the TV's saying,
oh, okay.
being nosy. Or I'll be in here watching it, and she comes home from school, and I'll try to turn it off, and then she starts asking questions or whatever. So she watched some of it. I came out here, and she had Sammy Danger's channel up, and she was yelling at the TV, "You're a liar! You're a liar, Dad! You're a liar! You're a fucking liar!" She started saying, I was like, "Calm down, turn that off," like, and that's why in my video she told him, "I just want you to stop," because she's just fed up at this point. She just wants her relationship with her dad, and she just wants all of her family to be able to hang out. But at that point, I explained to her, "Your dad said a lot of mean things, a lot of hurtful things. He said things that could get me in trouble, and at this point, he's not welcome here. But if you want to hang out with him, I'll take you to him. I will drop you off at grandma's. He can pick you up there. Like, we could figure something out." And so
Right.
she's okay with it. And I told Danny the same thing before he blocked me. You want to see your kid? I'll do it. And the thing that pissed me off was when he blocked Mariah, who was on there, and he was like, "Oh, send me the money, send me the money. I'm gonna go pick up all 3 of my kids and do something." Well, I was sitting here watching the stream, and Kylie was right there, and I shouldn't have been watching it with her, right? And so
Yeah.
then he picks up his phone and he texts his son, and he mutes his stream, and Kylie's looking at her phone, thinking that he's texting, that he's gonna text her, and he doesn't.
Wow.
And then he starts playing video games, and that's when she was like, "He's a fucking liar. He doesn't do anything. He just tries to look cool," she said. So then that's when I made comments on his thing, and then he blocked me again. I was like, I'm done. So I just try not to watch his channel because it just creates too much issues in my household. Then-
I can understand because it brings a lot of issues to my household, and
Mhm.
it's just me in it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my god, it really does suck because like I said, you live it every day, and I can't. And again, taking it, what you're doing, for his daughter is amazing. Like, she would have been in a home where she wouldn't get the same treatment where she's getting from you. I think that Danny doesn't realize that too, is that if she would have had to go to a special needs home, and she would have just become a number. She would have just become a part of society that, that God forbid that they take good care of them, and you hope that they get the best treatment. But it's like anywhere, it's like you're taking your dog into the to a spa day or something like that, or taking
Mhm.
your kids taking your kids to camp, doing something where you think that they're going to give the best care, that they're going to get the best care, and then they come home and they go, they didn't feed me, they didn't let me go outside. They
Yeah.
didn't,
Well, the
you
thing
go,
that really like pisses me off is he's like, so he goes on stream and he's like so ungrateful, but then he was on TikTok streaming,
yeah.
and someone sent me that recording of him saying, "Oh, how great I am with her." But whenever he gets pissed off, he's like, "I told you not to take her. I told you not to do it." He never once told us not to.
I
We
bet
were
that Hillbilly, are you back, or or Hillbilly, because that, or she's checking out Sammy Danger. It's just
we
it's
we
really
were asked twice to take her. And the first time was on a Sunday when her mom tried to drop her off at the hospital because Kylie threatened to kill herself and kill her mom and kill her boyfriend or her husband. And um, the hospital called and said, "You can't just drop her off." And so Laura, Kylie's mom, called Danny. Danny called me. Eric and I ran straight to the hospital, and I happened to catch them walking out the door. Bless you. And I told
excuse
the
me.
mom, "Do you want me to take her?" And that was the first time I had saw Kylie. Like, I only saw her when she was like an infant a couple times. And so I had told Laura, "Do you want me to take her?" And Kylie was uncomfortable, and she said no. Well, Wednesday, so Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 3 days later, Laura sends me. I gave her my phone number on Sunday. On Wednesday, she texts me and she said, "I'm CPS involved. Um, the police are involved. Can you take Kylie?" And then she called her CPS worker and said, "I no longer have my daughter. She is staying with her. Um, she's going to be living with her aunt, and here's her phone number." And CPS called me within 30 minutes after I had that conversation with Laura and said yes, that I would take her. And they're like, "We're going to be at your house first thing tomorrow morning." And I was like, "Okay." So
Wow.
they came in, they did a home check, whatever. And they came to my house like 4 other times and took Kylie in her room and talked to her privately and, whatever. And the case wasn't on me. It was just because it was on Laura. Well, it was for Kylie and she was living with me. So
Right.
And then they ended up closing the case after 4 months. They helped me with some resources and, said if I need anything to let them know. And if Laura wasn't cooperating because I had no medical records, I didn't know who her doctor was. The only thing I was told that she likes to eat was chicken nuggets and fries. And then come to find out she has 19 food allergies. Her skin was broke out really. She breaks out really, really bad. Um, and then she just kept having like really bad episodes to where I finally had to put her in counseling. I got her in therapy for occupational therapy, got her enrolled in school. She had never been to school. So,
She had never been to school ever.
no, never. She wasn't even registered as a homeschooler in our state. She had no schooling at all.
So she had no friends or no nothing.
Nothing.
Wow. Like, was she just inside all the time?
Yep.
Playing video games or doing
Yep.
nothing, sleeping?
Playing video games.
Wow.
Yep. Well, they were showering her when the first night she came, it was kind of awkward because I didn't really know her. My husband didn't know her. And when I asked, because we were supposed to meet earlier in the afternoon, but Laura couldn't meet us until later, and it was like 7, 8 o'clock. And I texted her, I said, "Did you feed her dinner yet?" And she said no. And so I told her, "Okay, I'll just get her McDonald's." Or I go, "What are some foods that she likes?" And she's like, "She only eats chicken nuggets and fries." And so I was like, "Oh, okay." So we were right by McDonald's. So I bought her chicken nuggets and fries and brought her to my house. And then the next day, her hair was like really matty and everything. And
Yeah.
so I told her, "Hey, go in there and take a shower." And I helped her like unpack and whatever. And she came to me. She goes, "Can you help me?" "Well, help you with what?" I told her. "Well, take a shower. My my grandma and my mom always showers me." I told her, "Oh no, you're 17. You're gonna do that on your own." I told her. I was like, "If you need help, I'll help you, but I'm not doing that." And I explained to her, how to wash herself. There's like a little bench in the shower where she could sit down and wash her legs and her feet, and all that. Um, and then, so she didn't even know how to shower herself. I had to show her. I mean, I threw her in a bathing suit and went in there and helped her, showed her how to wash her hair. I mean, her hair was down past her butt when she came, and I've cut it. I've cut about, I don't know, 12 inches, 13 inches off since she's been here.
Wow.
But she couldn't wash it very good because it was super long and thick. And so I threw her in a bikini, or not a bikini, a swimsuit. And I showed her how to wash her hair properly because she was like barely putting the soap in and then rinsing it out and then throwing conditioner in it. So when she'd get out of the shower, her hair would still look greasy.
Oh,
But
my hair does that all the time because I have thin hair
yeah,
and it's blonde. So as soon as if I I have to wash my hair twice and then I have to put conditioner on and then it looks like and then it might be too soft
yeah,
because it's been washed and then I um and then if I sleep on it one time, I look like I have just crawled out of a dumpster. I'm like I swear I shower every day, or at least
yeah.
twice a week, 3 times a week, 4 times a week. Like I shower I shower regularly, and but it looks like I don't, and so because my hair will look like I crawl out of a dumpster, and that's what I tell people. I go, I haven't taken my shower. I still look like I'm living in a dumpster.
Yeah, no, she put herself on a showering schedule, so she showers 3 times a week. And she seems to be doing okay with that. And then I bought her some Nair, um, and it looks like a deodorant stick. It's really cool for her armpits because she had never shaved her armpits or didn't know how.
Wow.
But she don't shave now. I just have her use the Nair, and the Nair just gets it right up. So, but yeah, so she learned how to do that. She had never been to a dentist. I got her into the dentist. She has 0 cavities, and I take her in every 3 months for a cleaning. So,
Wow.
and then
You're doing amazing. Like,
her,
and this what's so sad about it is that this is natural stuff that we all know how to do. And and we should, and it's natural to us, but it's not natural to her, so you had to teach her how to do all those things. And what was her, and her mom just does her mom have any communication with her at all?
No, not really. Her mom's staying with Danny right now. Her mom has been staying with Danny off and on since she's been here, and it just hit a year that she's been here. This month was
Wow.
a year.
Why is her mom staying with Danny right now?
Good question.
That's weird.
She's married, and her husband's dying, and so
Wow.
I don't know if they got it. He's an alcoholic, and so I don't know like if they got into an argument or whatever. But this is like the fourth time that she has been to Danny's. And the last time she texted me, she asked me for my mom's number because she said she was having issues. So I invited her to come stay here because I have a spare bedroom. And
Yeah.
so I told her, oh, you could spend time with Kylie. Like, Kylie would really like it. You would have your own room, like, whatever. And the next thing I know, she was like, oh, I found a place to stay. And then Danny was streaming. And then I see her walking in the background. And I was like, I went off. I went off on both of them. I was like, are you guys fucking kidding me right now?
Yeah.
You can't even come see your daughter. And then she told Kylie so the last time she talked to Kylie was Super Bowl. And she asked if she could come over and see Kylie for the Super Bowl. And I told her, yep, we were making tacos and chili dogs, like just, having a bunch of food and just chilling. And so I texted her because we got invited to go out to my cousin's house, but I didn't want to go if she was coming. And she was like, oh no, I'm sick. I've been sick for 4 days. But she sent that message 4 days ago. So it didn't make sense.
Oh.
So she texted me and said, hey, can I come? And then when I was like, hey, are you coming? She was like, oh no, I have the flu. And then when I texted her for Kylie's cheer, I said, hey, you don't have to pay for anything. Everything's paid for. The $30 ticket to get in, the gas, the hotel, the food. Like, all you have to do is just show up to my house. And she was like, I have the flu.
Wow.
So,
Like,
and then,
my kids are 23 and 22 or 21, and I just, every day they call me and check in and everything else, and I tell them I miss them. But my daughter just we went out to lunch on the 18th for my grandma's birthday, and I uh I say I miss you, and my daughter goes, I saw you less than a week ago, mother. You're not, there's nothing that's changed. And I'm like, yeah, but you're not in my house. And she's like, and I never will be. Like, she has no desire to be with mom at this point in time. Like, she's got a boyfriend, she's living her life, she's got a dog, she's my son and her live together, and my son kind of took over. Now my daughter's kind of, Braden is mothering, or Daisy's mothering Braden. Like, he goes, it's time to eat, it's time to clean up, it's time to do dishes. And I said, so what's it like living with Daisy? And he goes, it's like living with you. She's just younger and bitchier. And I went, oh, okay. And I went, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. He goes, yeah, I know. And I said, and you're paying rent to stay there. And he goes, yeah, I didn't think this one through, did I? And I went, no, you did not. And I tried to warn you, but no, they wanted to do that. So it's on them.
yeah, my daughter's in the Navy in California, and I FaceTime her all the time. And my son lives, so I have a 2-bedroom apartment down under me, and he rents that out, him and his fiance and my grandbaby. But even though he lives down there, I barely see him. I talk to him more on Facebook than I do seeing him. He's like a hermit. He goes to work, comes home, and that's it. Then he don't leave the house. He don't do anything anymore. A little hermit guy. Ugh. Yeah, I don't know.
All right. Well, I think that this was a makeshift. This was a makeup live for whatever. But I'm going back to bed because
Yeah,
I'm
no,
exhausted.
nobody even came up to make up.
I know. Um, and I want everybody to get along, like, but I got people messaging me, and I'm like, I've got another fire somewhere else, and I was like, I'll dip out of this fire right now and to go deal with this fire, because I don't want to be in either one of the fires. So
Oh,
I
I
was like,
feel ya.
I was like, I just don't want to be there right now, and I was like, I want to. I told that person I'm gonna go hide underneath the sheets before all this pops off, and then I got a message, and I went, I gotta go on Blind Live. I'll be back. So,
I know, I
um,
get messages all the time, and I'm just to the point to where I just ignore them.
I'm here, but I'm here, but I don't need makeup. I'm
Um,
not.
yeah, it was weird. I was on TikTok, and it was probably like a week ago, and some random person just sent me a message, and she was like, "Hey, like, my friend was talking to your brother, and she sent him pictures she shouldn't have, and Danny, I guess the girl,
Oh, you're fine,
mother."
hillbilly. Hillbilly. I just and Dee Dee's up here, and that's why I'm glad Dee Dee was here tonight. Is because I want I just want people to know to have their eyes have their eyes wide open, because I don't want anybody to be hoodwinked in any way, shape, or form. And I'm not saying that Danny's a horrible person. That's not, we all have our issues. I mean, and his is unfortunately on YouTube. Um,
Well, I can
everybody
tell
has.
you exactly what the issue is. His
And what's that?
drinking is out of control, and his
Yep.
mental health is wrong. Because I just went through this 6 months ago, where my mental health was really bad and my drinking was really bad. And I stopped drinking, and I went and got put on medication, and ever since then, like, I feel a lot better. Like, I still have my moments, whatever, but um
Oh, I'm firmly, like, I've been medicated my whole life. Like, and I hated
mhm.
taking Ritalin when I was young. I hated it. It made me feel like a zombie. But as I've gotten older, I I I realized that, medication is a need. It's
Yeah,
not.
this whole thing, like, affected Kylie so bad that um a month ago she tried to kill herself, and I had to sit in the hospital with her for 18 hours for her crisis response to come and say, "Oh, she has autism. They'll eat her up alive. Like, we won't admit her." Basically, take her home, keep an eye on her, lock everything up, and consider putting her on medication. So then I had to call her therapist that she sees for her autism and call her up and say, "Hey, this is what happened. Like, maybe we need to put her on something." They put her on something, and she had allergic reaction to it. Her whole body broke out in hives because this girl
Wow.
is allergic to 19 different things, like chocolate, every chicken, pork, beef, tomatoes, milk, anything you can think of, she's allergic to. So then we had to stop the medication, and then we just restarted her back up on a different medication. And so I asked her, "Hey, how are you feeling?" And she's like, "I think I feel a lot better. Like, I don't feel like high anxiety, or I don't feel as depressed." So, I mean, if she
Well,
can do it,
like I
he can
say,
do it.
I was, and I've told this, and I'm sure you've heard this, Dee Dee. I was taking Adderall my whole life for my ADD, and it's worked. I've raised my family. I raised a family. I paid bills. I raised two children. It was very beneficial to my life. Was there some negative effects to it? Yeah, there absolutely. I had a trigger twitch. I gave me a little bit of the shakes at times, because I was with all the adrenaline going through.
Uh-huh.
Um, but that's part of any medication you could get. There's always going to be the negative side of it. But when I was going through everything on YouTube, my brain waves, and this is the doctor, not just this is not just me saying this. The doctor said that the Adderall, and this is where I kind of see where it's like for your brother or for anybody that's going through this, is that your brain waves change all the time. And when I was going through with people bullying me and making videos and talking about my kids, is that my brain waves, the Adderall was now focused on the drama and focused on fighting the fight or flight mode. And my trigger had my Adderall was geared in my brain towards that and letting everything else go by the wayside. And so and because of that, my depression got really out of control and I had a bad couple days. I did immediately go to the doctor, and I did it. And the whole story is very, I was very lucky. Let's just put it that way. I was very lucky that I had the friends that were in my, that were there, that Blind was there, and another lady that's on my channel that I would call my best friend. She was there, and thank you, Lord, that they were there. And then I had a lady pray for me. I had the doctors, everything kind of aligned perfectly, and it worked out fine for me. And they changed my medication, and since then I've been, and people say it now, they go, I miss the Adderall mix, because I was hell on wheels. Like I was going live 24/7. I was doing sleep lives. I was doing wake up lives. I was doing everything, and I said some pretty outlandish things. And do I look back at them, and Blind will tell you, it's all, a lot of those lives have been privated, and they haven't been opened up because I haven't. I had to close them down for the trolls, and I haven't opened it back up. But it's partially because of me. Like, I don't want to see me how I was acting. When I was going through it, I absolutely felt like I was justified in doing it, which was justified. But now that I'm on the other side of it, and I might hear myself and go, "Wow, wow!" Like, I didn't think you had it in you, and so I have a trigger switch that is that it pretty much only comes out. My daughter knows about my YouTube channel. She did come in here and troll me one time, with her boyfriend at the time, and it was under his gaming account. And they came in here and they're like, I'm going to take your daughter, like, how's your daughter? I love your daughter and everything else. And I was kind of like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what the fuck is this? And then they said, well, I'm going to go, something about my daughter. Like, they were going to go talk to my daughter, and or take my daughter out to lunch or something. And I just flipped. I immediately went to go flip, like they were talking about sushi, because we love sushi. And so she's like, do you love sushi? And I was like, yeah, I like sushi a lot. Like, why are we having this discussion? And then the person said, I'm going to go take out your daughter to lunch. And I just was like, stay the fuck away from my daughter. Like, I thought it was a troll that was going to go knock on my daughter's door. And I was like, stay the fuck away from my daughter. And immediately, before I even got stay the fuck away from my daughter, my phone blew up, and my daughter goes, it's me, it's me, it's me. And I was like, don't do that again. She's like, wow, Mom, you were ready to unleash on us. And I went, and she goes, you didn't figure it out. And I went, well, I knew something was weird, but I didn't know why would I assume that would be you? Like, I defend people like you and for you. So why would I put you in the same category? So, yeah, so so I do have a trigger switch. And the whole point of this conversation is that, Danny, I think, could do very well with medication and sober. I think that you would see a different side of him, and he could be he could be an upstanding dad and a citizen. I think that he would feel better about himself, and he would, and everything else. And I think that he would move forward in his life. Right now, I think he's kind of in a state, he's stuck. He's just stuck, which we all get stuck. We're all not perfect. We all get kind of comfortable in our, in a rut. You get comfortable in that little rut, and you're like, I'm not changing for nobody. And I kind of see that with Danny. It's just kind of like, I'm comfortable. I've got nowhere to go. But he has you, and he has his family, and like I've said this to people recently. When you're 22, something's cute. When you're 34, it's not cute anymore. Like when you go to the, like, I can't, like, as a 42-year-old or 40, how old am I? 46-year-old. I just had a birthday, so I'm still on 45. I'm still on 45, and that's why it's like 42. I'm not 42. I wish I was 42, but no, I'm 46. But it's not cute for me to go into a bar and be like, "Hi, honey, how's it going?" to a 22-year-old. Will you buy me a drink? It's not cute. There's, at some point in time, it's like, you're gonna buy me a drink with your mom's money at 32. it's not, or you have to, or a 22-year-old come up to me and go, "Can you buy me a drink?" No, I'm not buying you a stupid drink. You don't need it. You're a baby. Like, I'm not doing it. It becomes not cute. And I think that's where, unfortunately, your brother is kind of at, where he's at that age where it's like, it's not, he would, when a player or whatever he wants to say he is, it's cute at 25, 26, 27. Like the drinking, the being the cool dad, it's kind of cool. But once your kids have hit an age where his kids are at, it's not cool anymore. Your kids know.
Mhm.
At some point in time, it's like, you know your kids now hear what you're saying. When, as in, before, they walked around, you're like, dad and mom are just talking and they sound like Charlie Brown kids or Charlie Brown parents. Now your kids listen to you. They're sponges. They listen. And unfortunately, his kids are listening, and their friends are listening. I mean, that's what I would think that he would be more embarrassed about, is that his their friend, what why would you want the school talking about it? Why would you want the friends talking about it? Why would you want your kids talking about it? It's like, if my kids came to me right now, which they could right now, came to me and said, "I want you off YouTube because you're a disgrace to the family," that would be that would be hard. But I would be like, if I deserve it, I deserve it. Like,
Yeah.
and that's where I think that he's at, is that he needs, if he turns the road and gets it going again where he was good, then great, more power to him. But he needs to get out of the rut. And I think that medication and counseling would do your brother tremendous.
Mhm. Oh yeah,
Um
for sure. Like his thing is he thinks that we're jealous of him because we have to work a 9 to 5, and you know, and that he can sit at home all day and get all this money, these donations, and he doesn't have to work, and he, gets to do what he loves. Okay, that's great. We're not jealous. I'm not jealous. Like, I am proud to pay taxes so you can get your Social Security check. I'm proud of that. Like,
Well,
so,
and here's my, and this is where I think it also comes into it. And this is what I'm talking to my 22-year-old son about it right now. Is that being around people is good for your mental health.
hmm
Being in society is good for your mental health, because you make friends, you make people, you talk to people, you become It's like, well, with kids, when my kids were young, I can remember sitting there watching cartoons, going, "I'm watching cartoons and there's no kids here." Like,
yeah.
there's no kids around, and I'm stuck watching cartoons because it becomes your normal. Like, I was watching Power Rangers one day and I went, "I am watching Power Rangers by myself." And I went, "Why am I watching this?" And I turned it to it. It's not like it's not, and I went from Judge Judy to Power Ranger. I'm just using Power Ranger. It wasn't Power Rangers, but it's the first thing that came to mind. But I was watching Judge Judy and I went, I was like, "I'm tired of this," and turned to the Power Ranger. I went, for the kids, and I went, "There's no kids here, Megan. You need to watch an adult show." So I think that, like, a community for people, it's good to be out in it. It's good to be making strives to be out there. And I truly hope, for
Well,
your
and that's
family's
what
sake.
we really push Kylie to do. Like, I don't let her sit at home. I put her in cheer, I put her in bowling, I put her in the buddy club. Like, she does things outside of the home. Like, and she's just now starting to feel comfortable enough to go stay the night at our cousins, to stay the night at my mom's, like, which kind of gives my husband and I a break because we've had her for a whole year and never really had a break. It's
Well,
just,
and I can tell you this, my kids, and I know this because I've counted the days. For 18 years of their life, they were away from me for 2 months. For
yeah.
18 years, overnight for 2 months. I was a single mom 24/7 from the morning. Even if when my husband and I were still technically in the same household, and because he was working two jobs, and he was gone 60 hours a day, I did everything with my kids. So when I say I was a single mom for 18 years, I'm not lying. Like, I did it all on my own. And I struggled because I had a failure to thrive child. And luckily we found Pediasure and it changed his life. But um it was a struggle. It was a lot of struggles that I went through. And raising kids is no joke. And I think that, like, what you're doing for this young lady is commendable and it's awesome, and I'm so proud of you for doing it. If no one else has told you that recently, I'm proud of you for stepping up and doing the right thing.
I appreciate it. Like, I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't. I mean, what do you do? And Eric helped me out a lot. Eric, on her cooking nights, Eric is right there next to her because I work. And so he's right there. He helps her with her homework. He, takes care of the school issues if I'm at work, like whatever there is, like, he's he stepped in and helped. And
Well, and that, and and she's going to view that, she's going to view him as what men should be doing, and as a man, and how to treat, and how to be treated, and for her sake, and how to be, um, how to, when it's older, she's gonna be like, Erica was more of a father than my father, and hopefully, that her father can stand up and say, I'm trying,
yeah.
um, and
Well, she
that, but
already
I'm.
told me, I hope I get a husband like Uncle Eric. Uncle Eric's a good
Oh,
he's a good one, she said. And I was like, yep, he is. Like, he even bought her flowers when she did her first cheer comp.
oh, see, like that's what she needs. She needs to have that done to her so that
Yeah.
she can see the right way to be treated as a lady, and for him to, for him, it's probably like, I gotta treat this girl like I want her, I gotta teach her how to be treated. Um, and I think that you're doing a great job. And
Thank you.
like, and I commend you, because we all, that's what your story is one of those things that everybody always says, my door is always open, you can come in, I take on anything. But to take on a child with special needs at the age of 18, is no easy task. Is not, it's not a walk in the park, I'm sure. And like you said, probably been a lot of nights where you're sitting here going, am I doing, are we doing the right thing? Or, I don't know, you didn't you raised a girl, but it's not your child. And to not and also to not have resentment, towards your brother, and have it come out towards her
Hmm.
is something that I'm sure you struggle with at times, because you go, this is, in your darkest hours, when you're going, this isn't even me. This isn't even my child. Like, why? Why?
Yeah.
Why? Why?
Well,
That's
the only
that's
time I get like really upset is because, we do everything for Kylie. Whatever she wants, she gets. Like, you know, the girl has anything and everything she wants. She goes to the store, she picks out whatever she wants. We're just now teaching her, the value of a dollar type of thing, because she needs to understand that and know that, because she is 18. Thing I
yeah.
get upset about is if her mom texts and be like, "Oh, I'm gonna come see you," or, like when her mom and dad showed up for her cheer. She was so excited and so happy, and that's all she wanted to talk about. And I told her, "What about me? Am I chopped liver?
Yeah. Well,
Because
that's
I've
what I
been here.
mean. Yeah.
I've been taking you for 6 months. Like, I haven't.
Yeah.
I missed two
Well, that's what I
practices.
mean. The resentment. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what I mean. The resentment,
and
because
so then I get a
your
little
job is
upset,
not
and then
to,
I have to like
get,
step back,
get.
and I'm like, she doesn't understand. She's excited. There's hardly any contact. She sees me every day. So that's, I do get a little, and it's like, no, it's not her fault. Like, and then I just kind of talk to Eric about it, and then we're good. But it does get
Yeah.
a little irritating sometimes, because it's like, are you kidding me? You know?
Well, and that's what, yeah, no, like, that's what I say. I would have a really, like, and I don't like to use this word, but jealousy. There's
Hmm.
times where it would be, like, I've already done this. I've been here, done this. Like, I didn't expect to take a step back. So the resentment, and then the jealousy of, I'm not, this is not what my years of this age I should be doing. I wish I could be doing this, and you're taking a step back, and that takes a lot. That takes a lot for a human to be able to, and to see, and then on top of it, to have it see, to be able to see him every day is got to be even more of a slap in the face, because you go, I, like you say, I work full time, I do what I have to do, and I take care of his daughter, and then you pop on and he's live and he's smoking weed and drinking. It's like, do you? do you think about anything? Do you care? And I think he does. I think he cares.
No,
But
I think he does, and it eats him up, and he just knows that he, said some shitty things, and he can't come back from it at this point. Like right now, everyone in my household's still upset, and will be for a while, but it shouldn't affect his and Kylie's relationship.
correct.
Because I'll take her wherever you want her to go. You don't have to see me. We can meet at a mutual place. Like, it shouldn't affect her at all. But the thing is even when he comes over here, he's always streaming or he doesn't even really talk to her. Like, I just saw on a thing, I think it was a clip or something where he was talking about how him and Eric would always go out and stuff. And they did. They would go golfing and go to the bars and hang out and him and Danny would always do everything together. But then there come a point in time where well Danny said, "Oh, he had all the money." No, it wasn't because Danny had all this money and he was paying for us because we paid for almost everything. If I could pull up my Cash App, I would and show you all the money that I've sent him on Cash App. And that doesn't include the cash. But the money is really not even the issue. Eric stopped going because all he ever wanted to talk about is how good in bed he is and how my husband needs to leave me and I'm using him and he would always talk bad about me and whatever. And so Eric just got tired of it. And Danny would be embarrassing. They'd go to a bar and Danny would try to hit up on the bartender, try to get her phone number or whatever. And so
Right.
Eric just got embarrassed of like his actions and stuff. And so Eric just was like, "No, I don't really want to be in public anymore." And then yes, when we bought our house, I mean, it did do a little financial because I ended up losing my job. And we went from a $900 mortgage to a $3,200 mortgage. So yeah,
Wow.
things got a little tight when I wasn't working. We're just now like slowly crawling out of that. And I was trying to, thought I was doing a good deed and helping my uncle. And, I put myself $8,000 in a hole hiring attorneys and, whatever. It's just so yeah, we don't have the money to like really blow it on that. We save our money for emergencies or like the other last week, we had to end up putting our dog down
Oh.
because it was snowy outside and he jumped from our top little embankment and he crushed his spinal cord. And
Oh.
he was 8 years old and we took him to the vet and they gave us some medication and whatever and they said to take him back on Monday because we took him in on Monday and they said wait a week. After about 3 days, we didn't see any improvement. We just saw that he was getting worse. He couldn't stand to go to the bathroom anymore. It was just bad. And so I told my husband, like, let's just take him in. So we took him back into the emergency vet and they basically said, well, if you don't have $10,000 for the surgery, then I would probably, consider putting him down. And so that's what we ended up choosing to do because we didn't have
Hi,
$10,000.
Blind.
Hey, what's up?
Hi,
How y'all
Blind.
doing?
You're
Hello,
very
hello.
quiet again.
Oh, hold on, I'm sorry.
Are you calmer now? Oh, Blind got a little heated earlier.
Yeah, I was watching his stream.
Oh
And
yeah,
then
I remember.
I got off for a minute because I was like, okay, I'm going to try to go to bed. And so I got off. And then right when I got back on, he's like, I'm done. Everyone go to Meg. So then I came over here.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I got a few messages and I was like, I gotta go. I have another fire. I have another bigger fire somewhere else, and I went. I think I'm gonna ditch this fire. Fire. I was like, I'll wait. That one can wait. I don't want to play. I don't want to play with that fire right now. I don't. It has nothing to do with me, and I don't want to be involved. But it has everything to do with me. But I don't want to be involved. So I'm gonna go hide. And I was like, I'll go deal with this. And so I came in hot and ready. And poor Blind, Blind and I have a way of when when he shows up or when I show up, sometimes it's not a pleasant. It's like it's not always pleasant, but we make it work. But
I got my certifications.
for what?
My HCA. I passed all my tests
Oh,
and
good.
got.
Congratulations!
Yeah,
You're doing so well. You should be very proud of yourself.
yeah. So I'm super excited, and I'm getting ready to open. I'm gonna go pull a general contractor's license, and we're gonna open up a little family business.
Okay, can y'all
Okay,
hear me?
nice. Huh?
Can y'all hear me now, or am I still low?
You
You're
just
low,
sound like
but
you're.
you can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you, but you sound like you're about 100 miles away. I think it's your mic.
What the freak? Hold on. I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry, man.
Okay, what about now?
Much
Better?
better.
Okay, look, I want to say one thing dude, to start. What I have to say is that Danny doing what he did was not a threat to Carrie's kids. I don't give a fuck what anybody says, dude. That was a threat to Carrie through her kids. He never
Yes,
threatened Carrie's kids.
correct.
So that shit can be deaded right now, dude. I'm sick of people doing this twisting shit to get people on their side. It's stupid. It's fucking childish. So that's the first thing. Danny never threatened anyone's kids because you can make Danny look real bad by saying Danny threatened my kid, or Danny threatened some kids. That never happened. That's a false equivalency. So that's the first thing, dude. Number two, all I asked was that people take their private grievances to the DMs because I'm not gonna be because what they want is for me to kick old girl off my panel because they have an issue with her and whoever it is, anybody. I'm not gonna do that. Like I'm sorry to them if they don't like somebody that I'm talking to, but I'm gonna give everybody a fair shot, just like I asked for a fair shot. Does that make sense of why I got so upset, dude?
And that's why I
Yeah,
like you,
no,
blind.
that's why I was like, I got messages and I was like, and you in blind know you know me, I don't do the hear back, I don't like the back and forth and not and only getting one side, and I'm like, I'm just gonna go right to the spot and where I'm supposed to go, so I came right in, and I did tell you I'm coming in hot and I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah,
There's smoke and I want to, and if there's a train wreck, I'm gonna watch it blind.
yeah. What
I'm in for it.
you
And
allowed yourself to be used as a part of that machine? Because look, I don't know who it was, but obviously this is what happened. I have this girl up here that a lot of people have an issue with. So what they do is they're like, how can I get Blind to take her off the panel? Oh, he won't. They went and they said this, what they said about news. They said, and they couldn't get me to take her off that way. So they go to Carrie and say, hey, Carrie, here's a reason to be mad at this girl. Since you're Blind's girl, you'll get him to take her off the panel. If we can get you to be upset with Blind, that's where this is Carrie's issue. So, like, cause I won't do it, dude. That's letting myself be manipulated, and I'm not dumb enough to not see it. I see it happening, so I'm not going to allow myself to be victim of it. But you were, I mean, but you don't mind. You didn't mind. I'll do it if I don't mind too. So like I would have done the same thing you did, but they just used you and they're using Carrie and they're using whoever else as a tool to try to push that girl out. But she's never done anything wrong to us. You know what I
right.
mean?
And you're and that well that's why I said I'm coming in clueless and I have no idea. I just saw kids and I just saw little things here and there, flirting and other stuff, and I went, what the fuck's going on? I was sleeping, and I was like I said, I have another fire that has started, and I didn't really wasn't in the mood to deal with that fire at the time, and
Well, what's the other fire? I want to know gossip now too.
oh no, that's another fire for another day. That fire. You're gonna hear about that fire, I'm sure. It's gonna. But let's just put it this way: if I'm alive, if I'm alive in 2 days, you probably will all hear about it. So, um,
What? Why? You see though? You see. Look.
I mean,
This,
when I say alive, wait. I want to say, I mean alive jokingly. Like I'm just
yes,
saying,
of course.
like I just mean if I'm like I don't want someone to think that someone's coming after me. No, I'm just saying if I'm alive and I'm still breathing and I'm still above water and I can still talk, which all that's gonna happen. Um, I'm sure everybody will get or it may not. It may stay in house, but it's
And dude, you see, everybody gets mad at me because because I'm like, no, I'm not gonna kick her out. But the thing is that at least I say it up front, dude, because a lot of people would like, dude, this needs to stop of expecting other people to do what you would do. Like, cause you don't like somebody like you, Megan, you're friends with a ton of people that I don't like. But I would never think that you're going to stop talking to them because I don't like them. That's not fair.
right.
And that's what everybody tries to do to me. And they're like, well,
Hi,
try,
Tiny
they try
Gold.
they try to leverage. Oh, what's up, Tiny Goat? They try to leverage their friendship against me, and even like Carrie's worked up, but she's gonna completely forget about this. Or if she doesn't, then that's her issue to deal with. But what do you call it? I didn't do anything wrong by hearing old girl or by listening to old girl. Do you think?
No, I like and that's why I was kind of like like when I because like actually it's funny. Someone had said to me, "Well, Blind's live and he's in a good mood and he's just chilling." And so then I went, "Well, yeah, but I'm about to go destroy that." Like I was
Uh,
like, and I went, "I don't want to, but I didn't say it like that, but I went, something's going on and I'm gonna go figure it out." And I said, if it's a train wreck, I'm ready for it. But then someone said kids and I went, wait, kids and that's a sore subject for me. So I got triggered and I went, if I don't care who it is, like if Blind's talking about kids, he's gonna hear about me, like he's gonna hear it from me. And so I did have a comeback real quickly, not towards you, but just to anybody. And maybe I have to read, and then there was things that were being deleted, so I wasn't seeing full conversation. And then I tried to look through chat, and I went, I don't want to play detective. I don't want to sit here and play detective, um, to figure out what's going on. So that's when I went. I'm gonna come in, and I was flat out and said, I'm clueless, but I'm hot, but I don't have any idea what's going on, but and that's why I said to you, Blind, hi Blind, how's it going?
yeah.
um, and I said, and like I said to you at the time, I have no clue. I literally have no clue what I'm walking into. I'm so tired. I'm so
Well,
tired.
check it out. This. Do you want to know the reason why I handle things the way I handle them, dude, is because I was married at one time, and while I was married, dude, I was married to a horrible person, a fucking horrible person, and everybody in my family hated her. And I realized, well, like after I was married, I realized when you're with somebody, when you're dating somebody, and you and them have an issue, and you take it back to your family and share the issue with your family starts to hate that person, and you'll
Yep,
forgive that person, but
yep.
your family will never forgive that person. And it's like, okay, well, if I don't want my family to hate that person, since I think I might, and I just apply that to all of my life. If we all just let everybody else, because the thing is, dude, is a lot of these people that are fighting, they're gonna end up sucking each other's ass at the end of the day anyway.
Well,
And,
and that's kind of what I said. That's what I said on my. That's how I think I said it on your live or my live. I'm not sure which one it was, but like YouTube, Monday, everybody, everybody like everybody's hunky dory, and by Friday, it's new people, new situation, and everybody's forgiving everybody, and now they're on to a different situation. It's like 10 years.
yeah, well,
24 hours.
this is Danny's sister, right, Dee Dee?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, look. For example, this. And Dee Dee is okay with this because she's his sister, and I'm okay with it because I'm mature. But Dee Dee was mad at Danny, but she's still gonna have to talk to him one day because that's her
Yep.
sister, his sister, her brother. So so for me to be like, if I was to be like, hey, you. were on my side whenever I was mad at Danny, how could you ever talk to him again? That would be ridiculous, right?
Yeah,
Right.
I'm not that way,
Because
but I don't suck ass. Let's just get that clear.
no, I'm not talking about
I'll never
sucking ass.
suck
I'm
his
talking
ass.
about y'all, but y'all have to communicate again though and be
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
friendly.
no, no, I get it. I think
Yeah,
the biggest problem is people have issues with certain people, and I do it too. I'm not perfect because I've been up on both of your guys' channels. Um, and it just creates more drama.
yeah.
So
It's
I
all
don't know
that's
if you
all
guys
this is.
saw my post and my video, but I did apologize to both of you. I was really
Yes, I
drunk.
did.
No, I condone the drama. I appreciate the drama, so I'm actually grateful for it. I just don't want it when it's my well, I don't when it's my own drama. I'm gonna handle it privately. That's
Sure.
and I might be a hypocrite for that, but that's just the way everybody is.
Well, like I said, I have a fire right here, right now going on, and I don't want to talk about it. So yeah, no, and you're absolutely right, Blind, and that's what I've said before. Is that it's just like me and Chucky. I live here. Like I'm here. Like when everybody wanted me to be doing the whole stuff that they wanted me to do, and it's like I go to the grocery store and I have to see these people.
Yep.
I'm going to run into these people. I like
Well, that's
this
what
is
I'm
my
saying. Dude, that's the reason why I didn't, because I could have, not could have, but I could have behaved like an idiot and expected Dee Dee to stay mad at Danny. Like that's the way these idiotic people are. But it's like she lives near him. She's gonna see him. Like she's gonna be in contact with him. And I don't know that y'all have made good. I hope y'all have. Y'all are brother and
No,
sister.
we haven't.
Well, hopefully y'all will get there.
No,
But
maybe someday.
yeah, I
My
know
no.
what.
You're
my
absolutely right.
biggest thing is just the lies. Like I hate how he talks about having like such a shit childhood and what. Dude, I had the same childhood you did. We have the same mom, we have the same dad, we lived the same damn life, except some of the things that he said that he experienced didn't happen to him. It happened to like me or my
Yeah,
brother, and he
all siblings do that, I think.
yeah, but the thing is like he talks about it on live stream, like, and it's lies. Like if he would just go on and mind his own damn business and stop treating people like shit and keep our names out of his mouth, I don't give a fuck what he does.
Well,
I don't
and
care.
it's also in this, and I'm gonna throw my mom underneath the bus because she's not here and she can't. But she would agree. Is that my mom will tell a story and I go, "Mom, that was me," or
Yeah, every
and
family does that.
yeah, and you go, "Mom, that wasn't Jeff. That was me," and she goes, "No, it wasn't." I go, "Yes, it was. I lived it." And then and then she goes, "Well, I don't remember," and I'm like, "Well, I remember like little
No,
things."
my mom does that too, but Danny goes to the extreme. Like he did boxing for a week and it turned into 14 years, and then I'm like, you know, I
Yeah,
call
I
him
called
out
them
on
out.
it.
I called
You
them
know,
out on that too.
and then he gets pissed because I called him out, and it's like, don't lie. Like why are you lying? Like to make yourself
But
look better, or
some of that is to make himself feel better too. So you can't hold all of that against the person because sometimes we all have to like big ourselves up too.
well, and
Because
I'm fine. He can lie to everybody. Like I know the truth, but the thing that gets me the most is when he starts throwing accusations at me, at molesting his
yeah,
daughter and abusing her and stealing her
well,
money
you were
and
his bully, right? You bullied him for his whole life.
oh my god.
I think it's pretty cool that you were
Bro,
kicking
I
his
fucked
ass.
both my brothers up, not just
Hell
him.
yeah, hell
I
yeah.
mean, my
Salute.
Well,
brother that's like
and some
a
of
year
this,
younger
and
than
some
me.
of this is, and some of this is just sibling rivalry. That that's her brother.
Mhm.
No matter what happens, that's your brother. And you like my brother and I. We would fight. We would scream and we would yell. We never went to blows, but we would scream and yell at each other. And the neighbors would call my mom and go, "You have to come home from work because the kids are going to kill each other." And she'd get home and we'd be looking at her like, "What are you doing here?" She'd be like, "Are you guys okay?" We're like, "Yeah." Well, because siblings will fight for 5 minutes and be over it 10 minutes later.
Mhm.
And that's and every sibling goes through that. So sometimes when like what you're saying is that you know, there's things that are made out to be bigger than they are, and then when it comes down to it, it's not that big of a situation, but people can make it out to be.
Mhm.
And that's
And
what's happening all around us, dude. That's what's
Yeah.
happening. But the thing is, though, is that everybody, like everyone wants you to consider it the big deal that they consider it then and there. And it's like, I'm not gonna do that. I'm sorry. And dude, I have a ton of people mad at me about it, but I'm sorry. I made that clarification when I started my YouTube channel that I was gonna hear out anyone I wanted to hear out, dude. And that's where everybody gets it twisted because they think, oh, Blind is cool. Me and Blind are cool. He's not gonna talk to that person. No, I'm sorry. If they have not physically hurt anybody, then I'm willing to listen to them.
Mhm.
I agree, and Blind and I have both been always. Blind and I've been on panels before where Blind's like, "I'm just here for the drama. It has
Mhm.
nothing to
Yeah,
do with me. It has nothing to do with me, and I'm just here because I'd rather talk about it than type about it."
Well,
But
and
yeah,
I kind of did the same thing, you know, like ever since I made that video showing proof of everything, and I fucking doxed myself, but whatever. I realized afterwards, and then
dang,
my niece is like, I can edit it, and I'm like, I don't even want you to be involved with this. Like, no, I got it's fine. I told her I don't care.
that's
Um,
good.
but anyways, I mean, somebody had already done it anyway, so what is the point of trying to hide my information? But that's the only thing that like gets me upset is like I have proof, I have proof, I have proof, and it's not like little accusations. Like if he's lying about boxing for 14 years, okay, cool. Lying about the gun being pulled at his head and him, talking shit, okay, cool. Like, it doesn't have anything to do with me, and it
What
doesn't.
did he do? Did he cry when they pulled? Did he really get a gun
No,
pulled on
he
him?
said he told him to fuck off and went toe to toe with them,
He
and I
cried,
don't know.
right? He cried.
I wasn't there,
He cried.
but
he
if I
cried.
remember,
I
Yeah,
cried.
he cried.
if I remember right, I think he called the cops. So,
Dang.
but anyways, and he was young. He was like probably like 18, 19, because he was married to his first wife, which is um Kylie's mom, the daughter that I take care of, and they got married when he was 18, and they were only married like a year. So, he was like 18, 19 when it happened. And Danny's like always been a little guy. He just now like started beefing up,
A little
like
bit, you mean?
yeah, a little bit, and he's not even that beefed up. So
No, he's skinny. He's still skinny, and I
yeah,
always think skinny guys are funny when they act tough. But
yeah. Because the camera adds 10 pounds, so take 10 pounds away. No, but
oh, that
And
that
I
makes
agree
me
with
feel
that.
better.
That makes me feel better because I always like I look at myself on my camera and go, I don't look like that in real life. I know I don't. And then I look at myself in the mirror and I go, yes, you do.
no, I'm sticking with the theory the camera adds 10 pounds. But that's the only thing that kind of gets me, and I've been trying to stay like out of the drama. You know, like I said earlier, I had people messaging me on Facebook, like, "Oh, we'll tell your brother this or tell your brother that," or commenting, like, Square was commenting on Sammy Danger trying to get in touch with me, and I'm like, I'm not even gonna go that route. Like, I don't want the drama. I don't just keep my
Yeah,
name
I
out your
want I
mouth.
want it. Any drama that y'all guys had for Dee Dee, send my way, and I'll take care of it.
Well, and I apologize, Blind, because you were having a great stream, and it sounded like a great stream. And so for me coming on at the very end and getting you riled up, that was my doing. I do apologize to that because I know
No,
what that's
it
like.
was. Dude, it wasn't your fault, and I don't really know whose fault it was yet, but I'm not even really concerned with it. And I apologize for getting like stern. I didn't get mad and domestic violence, like they said. I just got stern. And nobody's ever heard me. Nobody, like I've never had that tone with anybody on YouTube. So like heard me get stern, and people were like, "Dang!" But I apologize for that, dude. But it wasn't your fault, man.
Well, no, it was my fault because I should have. Looking back, I should have private tuned and I should have sent you a message privately going, "What the fuck's going on?" But it was my knee jerk reaction, and it was um my my reaction.
Well,
I
that's
I
the reason why. That's the reason why they use words like "Danny threatening kids" and such is to get that knee jerk reaction. You feel me?
Yeah, because
Yep.
that comment is everywhere. And I didn't know
Yeah.
like if it was true, and I just assumed that it was because Danny lies about everything. So, but no, that comment's everywhere because they were making threats to me and my kids, and I said something, and then somebody's like, "Oh, you can't get mad because your brother threatened her kids."
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
and he didn't.
And I'm like, I don't care what he does. Like, we're separate, you know. Don't come after me and my family when I'm not doing anything to you. I've never even, you know, your name's never even came out of my mouth. So don't come at me, you know, trying to threaten me and my family because I've never said anything foul about really anybody.
right.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
if
I
I
was
have,
gonna end this a half hour ago, but guys, I gotta get up in the morning because I got physical therapy and then I got 12 hours worth of work ahead of me.
yep,
So
good
I'm
luck
going
with
to end
work.
this, and I
Okay.
have been working, and I wasn't planning on going live, but Blind said I was going live, so I went
My bad.
live.
I'm
But
sorry. I realized I did do that. My bad.
and I went, okay. Like I was like, all right. But I need to work on where I put my 2 cents in, and frankly, Dee Dee's right. It's been kind of quiet, and and everybody's kind of doing what they want to do, and I don't I know I'm sub to Square, but I don't watch him because everybody, I just I don't want to. I don't mind it on occasion to watch some of the drama, but I'm right now. I'm in a stage of my life right now where like mentally where I'm like because of stuff that's coming up. I don't want to hear it. Now that's not to
Yep.
say in a week from now that I don't that I'm not going to be like I want to hear it again. But I got my life. I've got work. I've got Ginger. I've got things that are I got to get home for to walk Ginger. I mean things that are every single day life that you just have to do. And YouTube drama, is not it's not always on Front Street anymore. Like I got to live my life, and so I'm trying to um figure that out. And someone did, I think it was Blind that pointed out to me, or someone that pointed out to me that my life was on YouTube and was very um big in my life. And oh, I know who pointed out to me, but it's not now. The drama's gone. I can finally the drama's ending for me, and that's why I don't have very much going on my channel right now, is because um I don't have to sit there and fight with everything. So I'm glad. But anyway, they dropped out. I'm out, and let's carry this on tomorrow. Good night, guys. Have a good day and have a good night's sleep. Talk to you soon. Bye.